In this video, I'll be reviewing the Hydrow Pro rower, and we'll cover everything I think you need to know before purchasing a rower like this. You can find all the timestamps of each section in the description as I walk you through the features that I love about the rower, how it compares to my Concept 2 rower, and even the things that I don't really like about this unit. Now, as a physical therapist, I've used a lot of different equipment in the clinic, including rowers like this one, which is a magnetic resistance rower. Now, typically, magnetic resistance provides the smoothest and the most consistent resistance with each stroke, and is also the quietest compared to air resistance or other water resistance rowers. The Concept 2 is probably the most common air resistance rower that uses a chain to drive a fan, which produces air resistance with each stroke. And the biggest downside to this style is how loud that flywheel can get, especially as you row harder. Now, it's not a big deal if you're in a garage or a commercial gym, but if you're rowing inside your house, you'll definitely notice a huge difference in sound. Here's what the Hydrow Pro sounds like at full strength. And here's what a Concept 2 sounds like at full strength. And water rowers like this one will fall in between the sound levels of the magnetic and fan resistance rowers. Now, similar to chain-driven air resistance rowers, you'll find that water rowers tend to have a little bit of a lag between the catch and the drive as you begin each stroke, but with magnetic resistance rowers like this one, the tension here is immediate, and it's really consistent, which puts it on top for me in terms of being smooth and quiet. So we'll start the review here with my ranking for the category of sound and consistency, and I give the Hydrow Pro a 5 out of 5 because it's really quiet and is very smooth compared to my Concept 2, and for me that's probably the most important category since I don't want to wake up anybody in the house when I'm rowing. Plus the consistency of the row is extremely smooth because of the build quality, and we'll cover that here in a second. But I do want to say that not all magnetic rowers are built the same. You can find a lot of cheap magnetic rowers on Amazon for just a few $100s, but they're built like junk, and this thing is built like a tank. So it's a complete difference, apples to oranges here. In fact, when you order a Hydrow Pro, it's not delivered via FedEx or UPS. It's delivered by freight, so you'll have to schedule delivery because the box is over 7 feet long and it weighs over 150 pounds. So it's a two-person job to move around because it's actually made of solid steel and an aluminum frame. And you'll know this difference in construction pretty much immediately when you sit on the rower because it doesn't wobble around or rattle like the lightweight Concept 2. Now, don't get me wrong, the Concept 2 is made to be lightweight and movable, but you do sacrifice some stability, whereas the Hydrow is 3 times heavier and extremely solid, with most of the weight up at the front, so you can still tip it up to store it. But in my opinion, it's a rower that you just leave in the down position. And frankly, I prefer it this way because it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, if we're ranking gym equipment by looks, this rower is hands down the sleekest, most beautiful piece of equipment that I have in my gym. So I definitely give it a 5 out of 5 for build quality, for being solid and really well built. And for overall portability, I give it a 4.5 out of 5 with a slight knock on the fact that it's just so heavy and a bit awkward to move around. If you do want to set this rower up in your basement or take it up a flight of stairs, be ready to have an extra person to help you move it around. It is absolutely beautiful though. It's a great design, excellent quality, but it's not as easy to move around as a Concept 2, so it gets a 4.5 out of 5 for portability. Okay, let's talk about some of the technology features that set apart the Hydrow from other rowers, starting with the most obvious feature, this massive screen. On the Pro, it's a beautiful 22-inch screen that pivots left and right, and it gives you access to thousands of different workouts, both rowing and even floor exercises that people find to be really motivating. And of course, to use the Pro to its fullest and to access all of these programs, you do need to pay for a monthly subscription, which is $44 US a month. I'll talk about pricing a bit more in the next section after we go through some of these features though. So here's what it looks like when you start up the rower. You can select your profile and dive right into a workout. Now initially you can sync it up via Bluetooth to your headphones, a heart rate monitor, or even a smartwatch, and you can even use the Hydrow app to track your progress and to find new workouts. And that's great, but sometimes I just like to row, and if you're new to rowing, I'd recommend starting out with the guided tutorials first and then using the coaches to help guide you in your pacing through a timed workout. But if you just want to row through the waters in Hawaii, well, that's where the Hydrow shines because basically you have two ways to approach a row. You can row for a set time, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20, whatever's available here, and then you can row for a distance, choosing your location and whether or not you want to row by yourself or row while watching a coach. But what you can't really do is just start rowing without selecting one of these parameters, and this is probably my biggest complaint about the rower. But if you're just getting started, it may not be a big issue for you, and that's because with other rowers like my Concept 2, for example, there's a just row feature that is exactly what it sounds like. The clock starts running when you start rowing, and you can stop at any point whether you want to go for 3 minutes or 7 minutes or row 1,200 meters or 1,700 meters. And I asked Hydrow about this because they have strict parameters for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes or even 250, 500, 1,000 meters. And I asked them about this, and they told me that the Just Row feature is not available with the premium membership, which doesn't really make sense for me because you can just row without a premium membership. So, of course, you won't have that scenic rowing or guided coaching without the membership either, but I do think it's a pretty basic software update that would just take care of this one issue that most people have with Hydrow. So, Hydrow, if you're listening, I hope you take care of that. It seems like an easy fix, so hopefully it's something they add in the future. Overall, the features of connectivity, the guided workouts, the user experience, and even the visuals of rowing through scenic places, I give the Hydrow a 4.5 out of 5. If it had that Just Row feature, I'd absolutely give it a 5 out of 5 in this category. Okay, let's talk about the downsides to this rower because I'm not here to simply hype up the Hydrow and ignore some of the downsides, with the first one as cost. Now, the Hydrow Pro is a significant investment in equipment and it's going to set you back over $2,000, $2,195 as of today on their website just for the unit. Now, compare this to the price of a Concept 2 at $990 new, and you're double the cost for the rower. Obviously, there's a huge difference here in materials and the features of these rowers. And if you're looking for that extra guidance and motivation to use your rower as you glide through the waters in Australia, well, then go with the Hydrow Pro. But realize you'll need to pay about $44 a month to access their extensive library of workouts and those scenic rows. So that's over $500 a year to access all of those online features and to use this beautiful screen to the fullest. Is it expensive? Yeah, it sure is. There's no question it's an expensive machine. Is it motivating? Well, yeah, a lot of people really love that community aspect and the motivation to use the equipment. Now, without the membership, you can still row with the Hydrow Pro, but your screen will simply display your time, your distance, and your split, which is that Just Row feature that I would love for them to include with the premium membership, but it's only available if you don't pay for that monthly membership rate. So it's obviously a premium rower here with a premium price, and that monthly membership isn't cheap. But if that means you're going to actually use the rower and establish a habit of exercise and getting in shape, then it could absolutely be worth it. But just like any other piece of equipment or gym membership, it all comes down to whether or not you use it. So for the category of value, I consider the cost and that ongoing membership cost to access those courses and the rowing tutorials. And the score that I give to the Hydrow Pro is a 4 out of 5 for value because clearly you can row on a cheaper piece of equipment and still get in shape. The cost may be a barrier for a lot of people, and while I do think the Hydrow gives a lot of value in their exercise library, I still give it a 4 out of 5 because I think they could come up with a lower membership that offers some like a fewer features or even some other classes that still give you a great experience with a beautiful screen on this rower at a lower price point. But honestly, besides that, I can't think of any other negatives about the rower. It does have a large footprint, so you'll need a lot of space to use it comfortably. It can stand up, but it cannot fold or be taken apart like the Concept 2. So be aware of this if you want to set it up in a small room. Okay, here's my overall take. I do love my Concept 2, but the Hydrow Pro is going to be taking its place in my gym because it's absolutely a solid machine that feels smoother, it's way quieter, and frankly, I find myself more motivated to use it because of the on-screen rowing and the competition feature to rank among those thousands of rowers who use Hydrow. We've talked a lot about the Hydrow Pro in this video, but they also have the Hydrow Wave, which is about $500 cheaper, and it's a lot lighter with a slightly smaller footprint. So if you want to save some money or you need to maximize your space, it's worth comparing the features of the two options they have at Hydrow. Occasionally they have some deals and coupons, so I'll list those latest offers in the description below. Just let me know what you think and what questions you have about the rower. You can leave a question in the comments and I'll do my best to answer each and every one of those. As always, thanks for watching. Let me know if you found this video to be helpful by giving it a like below, and I'll see you in the next video.